בבקשה.
יודיתי.
אני אשאל אותך בעברית ואתה עונה לי באנגלית.
בסדר. אם אני לא מבין, אני...
בסדר.
בבקשה.
זהו, ואתה גם מסתכל אליי.
כן,
אתה
כן.
עוזב אותו
לא,
ואת
לא,
המצלמה.
אבל למה אתם מצלימים? Oh, you're for posterity reason.
זה, אנחנו עושים את זה בשביל ההיסטוריה. לשמור להיסטוריה עדויות של אנשים שעזרו למדינה, שהקימו אותה. אוקיי. צהריים טובים.
צהריים.
היום יום רביעי, 6 באפריל 2011. ואנחנו בביתו של וילי רוסטוקר, בשדרות בן צבי 54.
של יהודי.
כן. רחוב בן צבי 54 ברמת גן. לפני שנשמע את סיפור חייך, תספר בבקשה על השורשים שלך רחוק ככל שאתה יודע. מה שאתה יודע על השורשים שלך, גם מצד האבא וגם מצד האמא.
השורשים שלי...
באנגלית.
My father was born in Chernovich, Austrian-Hungarian Empire. He was born in 1888, so therefore he wasn't a Romanian, he was a part of the Austrian-Hungarian Empire. When he, being the youngest, when he was young, when his parents died, he went to Paris where he had a brother. We had a big family in Paris. Mm-hmm. And there were 6 brothers, I guess, so one went to Bucharest and they spread, but the family came from, as I say, my father came to Montreal because he had a brother. And in 1919, when he came to Montreal, the Canadian government needed citizens. So as long as he had an invitation from his brother, pas de problème, no problem.
Did he fight during the First World War? Did he was a soldier?
No,
not at all.
Oh, what happened was he was an Austrian citizen, born in Austria, Austrian-Hungarian Empire. His brother had come to Paris, I guess, in 1890 and was a French citizen, so his brother went to war. They were going to intern my father. He decided he wasn't going to internment. So he went to Belgium, Holland, England, United States, and then he had 2 brothers here, mm-hmm. in North America. One in New York and one in Montreal. Yeah. His brother from Montreal invited him. So he got on a train and he went to Montreal and became a citizen.
Tell me about your mother.
My mother, very difficult, but my mother died when I was 4, and they buried her from our house in Montreal because in those days, being a small little community, not small, 100,000, 125,000, they had no central burial until about 1930-35. So therefore, I went and stood outside and watched the funeral of my mother. And my father, being with 4 children then, had problems. And so he married his brother's oldest girl. Oh. So that's why I'm saying I want to just place them. Mm-hmm. So, and we, as children, grew up in Montreal. And in Montreal, because it's a bilingual nation, French and English, in Quebec you had to pass 2 languages, French written and oral, English written and oral, to get your Quebec certificate.
Yeah.
See? So, and then I took Latin in high school, 4 years of Latin. And then I went to the Air Force. I volunteered for the Air Force.
Okay, wait. You have contacts with your mother's family?
Sure, they're my cousins.
You have, so from where did your mother come originally? Also from Chernobyl?
I could ask my sister.
Okay. Okay.
No, we had a big family from her side, but it didn't materialize, the relationship.
Okay.
And then
So when did you born?
July 1, 1925.
July 1st?
That's the birthday of Canada.
Okay.
And I was born July the 1st, 1925, in Montreal.
In Montreal, and you are the youngest sons of your
No,
father? No,
I was Pinya Ben, the oldest son.
the oldest one. The oldest one. So what educate you?
Education.
Jewish education or general education?
First of all, I went to the English. You have to know the history of Quebec to understand what that means. When we were born, and up until there was a concordat between the Jews and the Protestants in 1928, if you went to the Catholic school, you had to learn the catechism and everything, and then you became a Catholic. But in 1928, the Jewish community made a concordat with the Protestant school board. We went to the Protestant school board. We paid our taxes to the Protestant. I don't know if you know any of the history, but that's the background.
So you learned in an English school?
English, Jewish school. I mean, because 90% of the students, we lived in the ghetto then.
Yeah.
Up in.
What was your father's profession? What did your father do?
He was a salesman. He went around selling in those days, because in Paris he had worked with his brother in the.
So what was your family's economic status? Good or bad or what?
It was good.
Good.
My father had a car
Yeah.
in those days, in 1920, but he came from Paris, so that's where he learned to drive. And then in his field, he needed a car. So we had a car. We were. And remember the Depression, Black Friday.
Yeah.
The big.
You felt it in your family, the Depression in the States?
Oh, in the States, yeah.
But you in Canada, in Montreal, did you feel
You
your
felt
family?
the depression, certainly.
Yeah.
You had 1 cent a day. You got different manifestations of what. But we were relatively well off against the population of North America, where United States 25% were unemployed. My cousins went to the CC camps. They were good students, everything. And in Toronto we had family all over Canada.
Okay.
The Rostokers. And then they came here and they.
What did you know about Zionism at that time?
I'll tell you, when I was 5-year-old, all of a sudden the doorbell rang and a fellow said, Charles Rostoker, he was Moshe Rostoker. He had just come from.
I got sorry.
He's a good boy.
So, please continue. What happened when you were 5 years old about Zionism? We talk about Zionism.
Doorbell rang.
Yeah.
Ich bin Moshe Rostoker from Petach Tikva. So my father takes him in. right away. He has to stay at our place. He had a brother in Toronto. So a few weeks later, he went to Toronto. There was a clash, I don't know what, but they remained separated. One went to Hamilton, Marshall went to Hamilton, and Louis stayed in Toronto, and they became big, all four of the sons there became doctorates and came to Israel for atomic reasons and different, they were all scholastic people.
Okay. And high school, which after the basic school?
High school, I went to Barambing, the 99% Jews.
99%.
Yeah, but when I graduated...
You were a good student?
No, bad student.
Bad student?
Good hockey player, good baseball player. But my brother was the top student of Quebec.
Yeah.
Because he had brains and Bamira's failed. Didn't that? And then, regardless of that, then I joined the Air Force. Mm-hmm. And then they needed volunteers for Aliyabet. So
wait. You are running too fast. You are running too fast.
There's nothing much more. Go ahead.
No. Did you join a Jewish youth movement?
I joined the Habanim after I came back from the Air Force.
No, before, during your education in the high school.
No,
you haven't got...
I didn't go, I knew all about Habanim, Shemet Tza'ir, all that.
You knew, but you didn't join them.
No, because I was, as I say, I had to do certain more important things.
More about sports.
Sports,
yeah. During the years of before you are go to the Air Force, what did you know? What happened in Israel, in the land of Israel, in Palestine? Did you know that there are some troubles with the Arabs? Or
yeah, I knew it. I was well conversed with the goings on of the Jewish people because I was a Jew.
Yeah. Did you feel some? From time to time, anti-Semitic
I was part and parcel of our upbringing, the anti-Semitism.
No.
Yeah.
Did you feel in Canada?
Sure, we felt in Canada.
Yeah.
Anti-Semitism.
How does it
manifest
itself? How does it appear, the anti-Semitism in Canada?
Mosey's whiff. Mm-hmm. But one thing never came in all my time until I heard them yelling, "Kill the Jews," when Netanyahu was supposed to speak and they wouldn't let him speak at Concordia University. Mm-hmm. And this upset me very much because the Jew reacted like the American Jew in 1936 when the same way, keep quiet, so we'll...
Mm-hmm. So, if you were born in 1925,
yeah.
when the start the Second World War, in 1939, but in
38. 39.
39.
Yeah,
you were just 14.
17.
No, 25 to 39, you were 14. But when did you join the?
When I graduated high school.
In 1942.
42. That's right.
42.
Yeah.
And what is the reason that you went to the Air Force and not, for example, to Navy or something like that?
Because I was too young when I joined, so I needed a letter of permission from my parents to go and sign up. And I decided I was better off in the Air Force than failing in high school. So it worked out.
What did you study? What did you do in the Air Force?
What did I do?
Yeah.
Nothing very. I was.
Technician or...
No, I went for aero engine mechanic, and then I re-volunteered for aircrew, and I...
You were aircrew?
No,
also?
I tried, yeah.
You tried, but you didn't... Why you didn't become a
pilot?
A pilot or a navigator?
Because in 1943 already, they didn't. First of all, they didn't need them anymore. But I was a ground crew, so I had to remuster. And to remuster, you have to go to Toronto. You get out of your course, you go to Toronto or Quebec City, and then things worked out. And I washed dishes a lot, very much, swept the floors. I did all that.
So you were ground crew.
Here, Royal Canadian.
Royal Canadian.
No, the Canadian Jews were 7.6% of volunteers. Remember, the highest ethnic group who volunteered were the Jews. Mm-hmm. The Frenchmen didn't want to fight because it wasn't their land. It belonged to England. They're fighting for the English. So, anyways, but that's really...
Okay. So you...
You know, I don't want to go back to Montreal and all of a sudden people accuse me.
Don't worry. So you served during the Second World War in one base or in different bases?
No, different bases.
Only in Canada or in Europe also?
No, only in Canada because they didn't send me. Because when you volunteer for overseas services. Mm-hmm. If you don't volunteer and you're conscripted, they can conscript you only for self-defense of the Canadian. Mm-hmm. And in 1944, they needed more troops, so Mackenzie King sent non-volunteers overseas. And then there was the big exodus from
Canada,
from Montreal to the Laurentian Mountains to stay away because they, you see, that's not nice to...
Well, we want to know about that.
You don't want to know about it. I went fishing one day with a good friend of mine, and he had his master's, and his friend was getting his master's, and they said, "What ship did your father come?" His father came on the Chaim Arlozorov. I said, "You know who Chaim Arlozorov is?" "Yeah, it's a railroad station on the..." That's what he knew when his father had come on the Chaim Arlozorov, which I was there in 1946. We took the Chaim Arlozorov from... I'm just saying.
Okay.
So it wasn't that important to know by the Israeli. We know that.
How long you served in the army? Till the end of the Second World War?
Yeah. And I got a discharge specifically to go back to university.
Well, in 1945, in summer?
In the summer of 45. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then I went...
So you all the years of the Second World War, you served in Canada in different bases.
Yeah.
Okay, so you left the army. And you start study in the university.
Yes.
Which university?
Sir George Williams, which then united with. University, high school, Loyola College, and became Concordia.
Concordia. Mm-hmm. And what did you study?
I wanted to study to be a newspaper reporter, so I was studying arts.
Arts.
Yeah, because when I went to high school, I took 4 years of Latin. Mm-hmm. And to take 4 years of Latin, that was on a Michigan.
So you speak English, French, Latin?
You don't speak.
You speak, you understand.
Yeah, you understand. That's why you learn languages through Latin.
Hebrew, of course.
Hebrew, what are you talking about? Don't shake your head. I went to school and we studied French and English.
Yeah.
I came home a half hour later, the Rebbe was gekommen, and we had to learn Yiddish and Hebrew.
So,
That's part and parcel of our upbringing. If you come from a Jewish family, you know, who are interested in retaining.
so you speak Yiddish only with the rabbi? You spoke only with the rabbi or with the family also?
With my family also, my father, mother. My father, of course, came to Quebec because they spoke French. So I was able to speak French too. And,
so you started to learn arts in the university.
yeah, and then,
And when someone came to you and and therefore you volunteered for Ha'apala, when it's happened, how it's happened that you
I
left?
joined Habanim.
You joined-
We went to, in 1940, winter Christmas holiday, Christmas, New Year's holiday. There was a convention in Detroit, and they needed volunteers to take ships over. They couldn't get Israeli or Palestinian seamen to come over and volunteer because it became an expensive affair. So I volunteered. And
you read it in the
No,
newspaper or
at
in
the
the
convention.
Habonim?
At the convention, there was a well-known Jewish orator who had just come back from Poland. Anyways,
So you went to Detroit to this convention,
yeah, I went to
and you knew immediately that you are going to volunteer. You knew, you felt,
Yeah.
you felt.
Well, certainly I was going to go anyway.
Okay. So where did you? They took your all your.
I was a member of Habanim,
Yeah.
and G-Collar is up in Kibbutz Mayan, Kfar Blum, the different people. Nachman Yardeni was from Kinneret, that's all. And then I got on the ship in Baltimore.
Where in Baltimore you gone on a ship?
Yeah, on the SS Alua,
SS Alois that became which one? Which?
to Chaim Arlozorov.
Chaim Arlozorov.
And Lov Eliav was the Mifaked, and Nisan Leviathan was a Melaveh,
And who was the Gidoni?
Musik,
Musik?
Moshe Gidron, yeah, who became a general, because Moshe Dayan had to rescue his reputation after the Milchemet Yom Kippurim. So he brought him back. He was out of the army already then.
Yeah.
Music.
So
Okay, but that, I'm just talking to you, but that's not included in.
it's nothing. Tell me, you left Detroit. Which port you left with the?
With the Chaim Arlozorov?
Yeah,
Baltimore.
Baltimore. You left Baltimore, and
We sailed the Atlantic. Gad Hill was the chief mate,
Yeah.
chief officer.
Yeah.
The Schlegel was a German captain because you needed somebody with a captain.
Yeah.
So he was hired to take the ship over, and we arrived in Marseille, and from then on, Gad Hill became the captain.
Okay, in Marseille. So you arrived to Marseille,
Yeah.
and when did you prepare all the
In Marseille,
in Marseille?
Yeah. We built the ship to carry.
How many Olim came from with the
From-
Chaim Arlozorov? How many?
1,368. Remember, the Chaim Arlozorov came from Sweden with rescued girls who had been saved by a pact between Himmler and Bernadotte, who we killed him. Eitzel killed him, or Sterngein killed him. Lechi, yeah.
So there, one of these girls, Lova Eliav,
Married her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Chaim Arlozorov, when did you meet the girls? You go from Marseille to Sweden?
We go to Sweden
First you go to Sweden.
and load the girls. No, first we went to Copenhagen, and then
Okay.
we came in a cold day to Sweden, and they load the poor little girls who were
In which port? In which port?
in. I can get
Stockholm?
no. South of Sweden.
South of
We
Sweden.
went across from Copenhagen because we anchored in
Okay.
Copenhagen for a month. But I tell you, go to Tanya. You know Tanya?
No,
Love
I
the
want to hear
no,
it from
but,
you.
yeah, but I
want
forgot.
to hear it from you. I want to-
Trailberg. I think we left Trailberg.
Okay. So how many girls from Sweden did you?
Approximately 700, 700.
And then you
Then
came. Then yes. And
Then we
the
went-
other Olim.
We were supposed to pick up. We picked up in Italy. We went there into the circle and the.
Where? Which port? In which port? In Italy?
I know where it's all.
What, in the Adriatic side or in the
No,
south?
yeah, south.
Toronto?
No,
Bari?
not her. No. Barry was.
In the Adriatic.
We came in and
Okay.
we picked. I can get the name.
In the south part of Italy.
Well, no, yeah, but it's Gaeta. No, Gaeta's on the Adriatic. No.
Okay.
Okay.
So totally you have how many mapilim?
1,380 or something like that.
And you were what did you do? Was your job?
I was a seaman,
Seaman.
and I was the master steerer on the ship, and Godhill was by then the captain, and I had been his watch all the time, so we were very close friends, and he was a magnificent man and a magnificent seaman. I heard Schlegel say he's the best navigator I ever saw in my life, and he was an old Swiss or German captain, and but he was a fine human being.
Good. And what were the conditions for the staff in the Chaim Arlozorov? What for the staff, not for the mapilim? Where did you sleep? What did you have a bed? And did you have shower? Did you take shower? Or
Yeah, sure. With salt, whatever water was available.
Yeah.
Remember, we had to worry about giving people to drink.
Yeah.
And as I say, we had the Melavim were Israelis. No, Palestinians, excuse me. I withdraw my statement.
Okay.
Yeah. And Lova was sent aboard because Ben-Gurion had convinced, well, you know the history better than I do. What's the difference?
Okay.
Go ahead.
What did you have special events during
Special events, there were
no, yes, for example, storms or something?
Oh, yeah, big storm. One of the biggest storms in the history of the Biscay. We went through, I don't know, 60-foot waves. The ship was like a little, that's all. That's very, and I'd never been to sea before. Most of the people on the ship had never been to sea, so, but I'm a lucky man. Ik heb niet kan zeggen, and I never get seasick, so.
So in the Biscay, you had the storms, strong storms.
Big storm. I saw our chief mate, Captain Lopez, cry and beg God, I know a river, let's get out of the storm. God said, full speed ahead. I mean, according to the capability of the ship, according to the storm. But we went right through, And we passed the British fleet with the king and queen, and God helped send them raised the flag, and all that story.
So after Italy, from Italy to Israel,
Yeah,
to Palestine.
to Palestine. No, not to Palestine. To Palestine.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah, okay. So what was your line? It's along the road, the
No, we went straight
directly through Crete.
to Crete and then down, because the ship was proved itself to be capable of staying afloat.
So, and what happened when you arrived to the Palestine coast? What happened?
When we arrived, all of a sudden we saw an airplane. The airplane was trailing us, and zooming in. And God Hill said, "Be careful, because I might shoot you down." But he went full speed ahead, and then 5 the destroyers came, and there's pictures. You can see pictures.
I don't know pictures. You
No.
tell me what's happened.
They attacked us.
Yeah.
Guy Hill was giving orders. I'm steering the ship, because I was a good, as I told you, when you have no brains, you can do a lot of nice things. But in any case, we went right and grounded the vessel opposite the army camp, the hospital, where Bat Galim.
Yeah.
We
You didn't try to enter to the port of Haifa. You didn't try.
no, we couldn't try, because
So
God Hill was
you
steering.
conduct the vessel directly to the
Tried to ground it.
and
because
then what happened?
what happened? 10 of us were arrested. They threw us into. It was a Friday morning, remember? So they couldn't put us on because we're Jews, so they want to respect our religion. So they put us in the port captain's office, and who's looking after us is Dostrovsky's uncle. Mm-hmm. And the man who swore us in to come aboard the Chaimer Lodrov was Dostrovsky, the commander of the armed services of Palestine, the Haganah.
Yeah.
And
So you stayed. All the crew stayed in this camp.
no. They just who they arrested. I was on the wheel, so they grabbed me, and they grabbed Ephraim Tzuk, who then was a chief engineer, and a few other Americans.
And what happened with all the Ma'apilim? They
went taken to Cyprus.
to Cyprus directly.
Direct to Cyprus, yeah, because this is already after.
So you, the British soldiers or policemen knew to separate you from the Ma'apilim, yeah?
No, they didn't separate us.
No, you went also to Cyprus?
No, because they took us to court and tried us for being part of the crew. We say we were not part of the crew. My name is Zev Goldberg. I come from Pinsk. And so that's the way I went instead to Atlit and spent 3 months, approximately 2.5, 3 months in Atlit.
In Atlit.
Yeah.
So as a Ma'apil, not as a crew.
Yeah,
not as a crew.
The judge threw the case out of court. There's not enough proof.
Why they didn't send you to Cyprus? Why?
Because the ship had gone with the whole crew.
But in the next transport, maybe. I don't know.
But we are already in Atlit.
Okay. So
because regardless, those who came back from Cyprus first went into Atlit, and Atlit was the camp here.
Yeah.
Before they.
So all the crew were sent to Aklit? All the crew?
Or whoever, no, a lot of, like a few Melavim
Yeah.
were hidden in a slick in Nissan Leviathan and
Pick them out.
the next morning jumped. This is a true story. That's
So you didn't have a slick to
I was
hide there.
No, I was on the wheel, but regardless, they took care of their own, and we had.
Do you remember the date that you arrived to Haifa? When was it?
February the 28th.
February 28, 1946. 47.
47.
47, yeah, 47. So how long you stayed in Aklit?
The week, about 3 months, close to 3 months.
And then they released you?
Yeah, they released me. I'm going back to my chaver from Minsk, Pinsk, all that baloney,
But you volunteered to another
yes, I went.
Mapilim, another ship. How did you arrive to Europe back? How did you go?
When we came to Marseille.
How you came to Marseille? By ship?
With the Chaim Arlozorov. Shmari Tzameret, who was the head of the Haganah not Mossad al-Liabet in France, said, hand in your passports. And they used a lot of them. Mine, when I came to Zimmerman, he's the man in Haifa who did all the false passport work. He handed me my passport. Why did he hand me my passport? Because I had a visa. Montreal, they said, put a visa in there. So I had permission from the British to travel to Palestine. So he gave me back, here's your passport. So they sent me out with
the passport. So you went back to Europe legally?
Well, legally.
How? With the ship?
With the ship, a Greek ship was coming every week. The Cadio, I think was the name.
And then you become a member of the staff of which...
And then Nissan Leviathan, who was commander of the Palmach in France, said, you're a Palmachnik. I said, I'm a Palmachnik. Okay. So he puts me on the next ship to...
Which ship? What's the name of the second ship?
On the Pan York.
Pan York, okay.
He's becomes the commander of the Pan York.
Who?
Nissan Leviathan. And Yossi Hamburger, Harel, was the commander of the two ships. Yossi was a big man.
How many Mapilim were in both Pan York and Pan Crescent?
About 16,000, I guess. Yeah, the British were astounded to see how...
Did you help to build the ship?
Yeah, we were 3 months in Constanza, and building and everything. Yeah. And Grisha's mother's name, a very famous woman from Kfar Giladi. He was a very brilliant guy, and so there were two crews. One went to Italy and they blew it up, so we sent a few. Mossad sent 4 guys, I think, from our ship to their ship to guard it.
So both ships didn't begin from Constanza?
Oh yeah.
Both of them?
Both of them were finally built in Constanza. We then were changed, instead of going direct from Constanza with the 15,000 Romanian Jews, we went to Bulgaria, and they paid whatever they had to pay to the Russians to, and then we went to, loaded the ship in Bulgaria, and we went after due negotiations with big people, Ben-Gurion, Truman, all that. We went directly to Cyprus.
Yeah.
And I was so lucky to meet this beautiful lady.
Okay. So, what was the atmosphere in you were in Pan York or in Pan
York.
Pan York.
And God Help was the captain.
Okay.
And
So-
I became the third officer on the Pan York.
So what was the atmosphere between the Maapilim and the crew and the staff? It was you had contacts with the Jews there?
I was command of the second hold. I had 3,300 Jews under my. Nissan made me a commander, a Melavé. You see, and there were two other, he made from two other holds, Leviton, Dave. In any case, this is, they were the bosses. They were. But on the Pan York, God Hill had a bunch of Spaniards under him, remember? And he was a fine man, and everybody, he conducted the ship. Yossi was command of the negotiations with the English on behalf of Ben-Gurion and all that. So, but the commander of the ship was God Hill.
What type of person was Yossi Hamburger? What type of person? What can you tell me about him?
I can't tell you very much. I just had a big laugh when we met him, because Nissan had me and a few others organizing the crew, the people for the Yetziat Europa Arbaim V'Sheva. And Yossi was made the commander of the, so that's where I met him. And when I met him, it was a big joke to see Yossi Hamburger in June, the end of June, hot weather, with a fur cap and a jacket. It was a joke. Everybody, but he's a very.
How long you stayed in you stayed in Cyprus camp in the camp in
About
Cyprus?
a month and a half.
A month and a half.
Yeah.
And did you have special treatment? Did you get special treatment because you were part of the staff? No,
you didn't need special treatment. Everybody.
I don't know, maybe options to go out or something like that.
To go up, to go in, maybe you could go, but not to go out. Say, we did certain things, whatever the Palmach were running the camp. It wasn't.
So you were part of a crew, one of the crew of two ships. First Chaim Arlozorov and the second Pan York.
Yeah. The third was the Krav Emek Ayalon.
Krav Emek Ayalon.
The fourth was the Amored, we call them. Yeah, I have a picture with Yehuda Ben Tzur. And the fifth was we carried 4,500 from Yugoslavia. We went up the.
So after a month and a half in Cyprus, how did you meet your wife?
When we landed the ships, and then we started to unload the passengers. We were sent with 3,000, a couple of thousand, up to the camp where she was a nurse.
Yeah.
with two other ladies from Palestine. Eliezer Kaplan's niece.
Yeah.
She was, and Tova Granov, who unfortunately is not well, but her brother was one of the first guys killed in one of the first two tanks that the British handed over.
Uh-huh. So there you met your wife.
Yeah.
And it was a snap roman. What was it's
No,
from-
we just met and we would be in the group with all the other Melavim and stuff like that.
And when you released after a month and a half approximately,
Yeah.
Your wife left with you?
No,
She stayed?
she's part and parcel of the camp.
Camp. And after you left the camp, you left the camp to Athlete, and from Athlete you released?
Left the camp in Haifa, and they had me. I stayed in Haifa, and then they took us into jail because they were going to put us in prison for being part of the crew.
Yeah.
And they couldn't prove anything, so we were all put into Athlete.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we stayed until we were discharged from Athlete, but a week before the Atikva came in.
Uh-huh. So what date? What month?
Approximately the third week of April, I guess. Yeah.
April 48.
April 47.
47. So
47.
yeah, April 47. And you released from Athlete?
Yes, and then I was going to go to my people from Habonim were in what's the name of oh Jesus Christ, Ramat Yochanan.
Oh, Ramat Yochanan.
And then Ramat Yochanan was where Habonim guys had been sent from when they came on different ships, or the Wedgwood and the Haganah, they were the first two ships. I was supposed to go with them, but it turned out I didn't go with them, so they were then sent to the Ramat Yochanan. The Garin was sent to Ramat Yochanan.
So how long you stayed in Ramat Yochanan before you go back to your third ship? How long you stayed in Ramat Yochanan?
I stayed a couple of weeks, I guess, and then they sent me on the SS Kadia, which was a passenger ship, Greek passenger ship.
Mm-hmm. Where to where?
It comes from. We went from Haifa to Cyprus to Alexandria. And then we went from Alexandria, we went up to, and we finally came to Piraeus.
Paris?
Piraeus. That's the
Piraeus,
port
Piraeus. Yeah.
Came there where the English were in command because they were running Greece.
Yeah.
That was the time of the
of the war, of the civil war.
Civil War.
Yeah.
And the English, so they took off all the boys with British passports. I had a Canadian. There was another Moshe Sokolov from Toronto who had a Canadian. We were left on the ship and we went as far as Marseille again.
Okay.
And that's where we were given orders, jump the ship and passport, don't worry, you'll have a passport. And
the third ship You came from Marseille?
No.
Which קרב עמק איילון.
No, came from France.
Which port?
No, not from port. We were anchored out, and from
It was in harbor?
Nice. No.
No.
We were
Nice?
Nice.
Yeah. How many מעפילים were in this ship?
קרב עמק איילון. Well, there were wait a second. Oh yeah, I and Yehuda Ben Tzur had been organizing a camp for. I was supposed to be the big one because I'm the only guy who had the experience that they had. But the ship came from Italy, so I stayed with the Mapilim. I became the Melaveh, running the, and David Stern, Hungarian.
Few hundreds?
No. We had about 2,000, 3,000.
2,000 people. It was if the name of the ship is קרב עמק איילון,
Yeah.
it
It
means
was May.
May 48.
We had a ceremony in the camp where I made a speech, and then Yehuda Ben Tzur made a speech, and then the next day we were taken by truck to the place where
Nice, not far from Nice.
Not far from Nice. You can. It's whoever wrote the truth. Whoever didn't, I can't account for that.
Okay.
But Yehuda Ben Tzur is right now at his house.
Okay, so the third ship, it was not מעפילים because the state of Israel were established already.
No, they were Mapilim.
מעפילים?
From the camp we had.
Yeah, but
all the people.
Yeah, but
and we had 500 Hungarian. Okay, now I have.
Okay.
Just strike a memory. 500 Hungarians.
Yeah.
And then I went up to see 300 Moroccans.
Mm-hmm.
And then I came back, and that's who went on the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Those people. Oh, David Stern became the mifaked because he came with the ship, and he was an Israeli. I'm a Canadian.
Okay.
So I'm just giving you, these are facts now.
Okay. How long took the
We landed in
Haifa?
We were going to land in Haifa around May the 28th or stuff, but they got news that we were going to be bombed in Haifa that night. So they sent us to offload Caesarea.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where we offloaded them.
In Caesarea?
In Caesarea, and they were taken to wherever they were taken. Then they were sent to Latrun. Latrun, what am I talking about?
Sarafin.
No, they were sent to fight in Latrun.
Latrun, yeah.
The battle,
Yeah. Okay.
that's where the Hungarians
Okay.
fought. And the governor of the Bank of Israel.
Okay. And now it was not the last ship. You were part of it.
And then I went with Yehuda Ben Tzur with.
How did you go? How did you go to Europe again? By ship, also?
Yeah, I took back I went with the Pan Crescent.
With the Pan Crescent.
Ike was the captain, and we went to Venice. Mm-hmm. That's right. And then I got on a bus, and they took me to I went to see a little of Italy and came to Gaeta near where they had a camp there in Gaeta.
And
the Melavim from Italy were staying in Gaeta.
and what was the name of the last ship?
The last ship was I have it. I have pictures of
Okay.
it. Yeah. We went up to Yugoslavia and we took 4,500 mapilim
From Yugoslavia?
from Yugoslavia, and we went to to Israel,
Yeah, to Haifa.
to Haifa,
Yeah.
and unloaded the people in Haifa. And then
When was it? In October? September?
no, November the 20-something, and I got off, and my brother was in the Negev, in the Palmach, Chativat Negev, the Dotesha. I went to see him. Then they sent me home for the first time, and
All the time you have contact with your wife?
no.
No? No letters, nothing?
Oh, there were some letters, but her sister was in the army. They wouldn't let me. So she was סגן מפקד חיל הקשר, the Machne. Then she became a big one. And then stayed in the army and became. And she just died last month.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So, after...
Am I doing any good for you?
Well, very good, very good. Tell me, after you visit your cousin in Chativat Negev,
My brother.
your brother, sorry, your
And my friends, they're all in
yeah.
they're all in Gedutesha.
Yeah, in Dutesha. After that, what happened with you?
I went to Montreal to the doctors. They sent me because I was Melacha Farunkelim. You know what Melacha Farunkelim? And the nurse who treated me in Haifa was a cousin of mine. But she asked me, no, I went, when I got out of the camp in 47 the first time, I said, I have to go and send a telegram to my parents. Let me go. And so one of my friends from Ramat Yochanan took me to the post office right there, and there's a lady standing behind me and pats me on when I look at her because we were told not to speak English. My name now was Zev Goldberg, not Willie Rosstocke, but I was sending a letter to the family Rosstocke. She says to me, you know the Rosstockers? I start yelling at her at Yiddish, don't bother me. And then a year and a half later, when I get married here, September the 23rd, Erev Rosh Hashanah, my sister writes from Paris, go and see the Rostockers in Haifa. We look at each other when we meet the next day. She looks at me, and we both start laughing because she was Yehuda Rostocker's wife from Haifa. He was a professor, and he was in the army, a captain in the engineers. So the curious things happened. But a better thing happened.
Okay.
Was on the first ship I was on.
First, Chaim
Arlozorov, when we load the people in Sweden, and then we come up to Italy a month and a half later, and all of a sudden, as we're loading the people, because we took them aboard from small boats, we hear the people yelling and screaming. And what happened? Two sisters who had thought they had died met and they jumped on each other. That's a true story, by the way. Your lover doesn't, because he has better things to tell. But this happened. Two sisters met on and kissed each other and everything. These are the things that happen all through, because 60,000 people, if they live.
So you leave Israel in November, December 48?
I have my...
around.
December 25th, we left to go to because I wasn't married then.
Yeah, I know.
You know.
But you know that you are going to marry.
I hope. I guess I hope. I don't. But I go to Canada. I go to see doctor. They send me for. I have the letter from the doctor, and when we came to London, they flew us to the States. We had to go and get vaccinated because you couldn't go. So I still have the receipt from the doctor that I was vaccinated.
Okay. So how do you keep contact with your wife? You was not married, but you contact you.
No, I told her I'm coming back, I guess, but I came back. And
when did you come back from Montreal?
I came back with the SS Haifa. Davidka, who was the big boss in New York, sent me.
Davidka
Nameri, before he died.
Yeah.
We were about 5-6 from the Hevra, you know. And the rest were crew, regular crew. Walter Dahlman was the chief officer, and they had an American captain. And so I came back.
When? In 49?
49 Pesach.
Pesach 49.
I came back, I went up to Kfar Giladi to my Hevra, who we'd been together through Aliyah Bet.
Yeah.
And to join them, we were going to make a moshav in a small Arab village, which we were to found a company of tractorists. Didn't work out, so we all...
Where was this Arab village?
If you go up to Kfar Giladi, if you look out, you'll see a beautiful mountain. Mm-hmm. That's where the Arab village was.
Hunin?
I don't know, I can call it Eastern Leviton.
Okay. So when did you meet your wife after you came back from Canada?
When did I meet my wife? Came back from Canada.
Yeah.
So visiting from Slacht. Well, I went to her. I was a good worker, so I went to work in the Mashab. They're Kvarazarniks.
Okay. They are from Kvarazar.
Originally,
okay.
They're...
So you knew that she is from Kvarazar?
Oh, yeah, well, sure. And she sent me with a present to give to her sister when I left Cyprus before she came for a weekend.
Okay.
So, and she gave me a present to give to Miriam, her sister Miriam, but I couldn't see Miriam. It was the time of the saison, so they wouldn't let me see her.
Why? She was Etzel?
No.
So
she was part of the...
So what? Why did you say saison? What is the connection?
Because they wouldn't let any strangers near certain people.
Okay.
Because it was going on.
Okay.
And she at that time was Sgan Mefakedet Chela Kesher. You know where the camp was?
Where, anyway, in Tel Aviv?
In Tel Aviv.
Yeah,
it was
okay.
there. You're talking billions. Never. I went to school in 1932, 33. Whoever to think of millions was terrifying. That's 6 zeros. And now you're talking about what, 12 zeros? And soon they're going to have to create some.
But the dollar is not the same dollar.
Nothing's the same.
Okay. I want to continue.
You want
So your wife, you didn't marry her still, but she lived in Kfar Azar.
She was a nurse. No,
Yes.
she went back. She was in the army,
Yeah.
and then she was in the. Nobody liked her because her sister was the head of the camp, so she wanted back in to be a nurse. So she went back to be a nurse.
Where?
And at the where is יהודית, בואי הנה, רגע אחד תעזרי לי.
איפה היית אחות? אחרי שחזרת מקפריסין.
איפה הייתי?
שאלתי אותו, איך הרומן ביניכם מתפתח?
עבדתי בהדסה בתל אביב, ברחוב בלפור.
בלפור, הבנתי. בסדר. אז זהו, עכשיו אנחנו בשלב של החתונה שלכם, אז אני שואל אותו. So, when did you marry? Judith?
September the 23rd, 1949.
Yeah.
And we went on a honeymoon to Haifa with a taxi, with a shirut, I guess, or whatever it was. And we stayed at the Carmelia Courts, that was the Palmach, or the Haganah.
Yeah.
And we stayed there, and then we met my cousins. And then we went back to, we went to Canada, and I stayed in Canada.
How long? How many years?
About 18 years, I guess.
18 years?
I was in the,
What did you study there in the university?
No, I still went into business at the end. No, I never went back because...
What business? Family business?
No.
What business you made?
Carpenter, plumber, electrician, a taxi driver. Then I went and started a company in the steel business.
Mm-hmm.
And then
In Montreal?
In Montreal, yeah.
Okay.
Also, we did work right across the country. And then I decided we'll go back to this land of ours.
When did you make Aliyah?
I don't think I ever made Aliyah. 1974.
1974.
Yeah, well, my son is a kibbutznik, Nachal Khan.
Nachal Mutznach.
Mutznach, at that time they called it. Nachal. In any case, now he lives in Jaffa. My two daughters were here, and then they went back to Montreal. And they have children.
Grandchildren.
And we have grandchildren.
And after you made Aliyah, you came in 1974.
Yeah.
What did you do?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Moshe Tzipori asked me to help build the Sdot Tufa because I was in the steel, so I became advisor to Bartok.
Bartov.
Yeah, Bartok.
In the project in the Negev.
In the Negev, yeah.
Which all the air bases?
Well, I went to both, but one I was...
Nevatim and Ramon and Uvda?
Yeah, I was... until I left in 1983, I guess. And then I got involved in something.
I know what you involved.
Okay.
I want to ask you about that later.
It's not nice.
What was your...
I was a stupid guy.
I know. I want you to tell us about that. But first of all, when you were advisor in the Negev, in the bases,
Yeah.
air bases, what kind of advices you gave? Or
Well, I
how-
gave them, I said, that's not good steel.
Not good still.
And they knew it. I mean, but when I explained to them why it's not good steel, okay, I did, that's fine. What happened later is a different story.
How did you get involved in Rami Dotan
Affair.
affair? Yeah.
Because I was stupid.
How? Tell me how it's happened. How it's happened that you were part of it. How did it start?
Oh, I was helping my good friend.
Which? What's his name?
Well, you know it. Harold Katz was his name. Is his name. I hope he's still alive.
Harold Katz.
Yeah.
What did you help him? Tell me. Don't wait for my questions.
No, well, I carried, he said, I need to put money here, take it. And I had a car. And so I used the car to help him. And I never,
To take what? Cash money?
cash money, yeah, listen.
No.
No.
Please tell me.
Why? It'll
Tell me.
make
I
it
want
look-
to know what's happening. Tell me what's happening. It were written in the newspaper.
I know, that's why
Okay, so tell me how was your part of this affair? Please tell me what's happened. How did it start? Who asked you? Your friend asked you to
take his daughter. There, his son called me. I was in Montreal. Daddy's gonna, his daughter would ask me to help her. Poor girl didn't have a coat or anything, so I helped her. At least I kept her warm. That's all. It's.
How did you understand what is the suitcase? Yeah, it was a suitcase.
I was told what's in there. I wouldn't carry stuff I didn't know what's in there. I was told. I knew it.
You knew what's inside the suitcase.
That's right.
And it wasn't suspicious to you for what is the source of this money?
I didn't participate. I never met Latan in my life. Harold was a friend. He needed help, so I helped him. Now he'll say different things. I'm saying as was is. It's self-evident. I went to a friend of mine, a cousin of mine at that time, and asked him, and I waited a year. I was in Australia with my wife to see my son who had gone there.
Yeah.
Regardless, it's all pistomyces. Now, you open the paper every day and they're not talking millions. At that time, they're talking billions and trillions now, and they're going to jump up even higher. And they bring in a governor for the Bank of Israel who's handing out everything to the people. How did... yeah, listen, you know it better than I do.
Okay, but I want to know from you how it seemed from your eyes. I wanted to know was your part of this affair.
When he needed help, he asked me, and I gave it to him. That's all.
And did you understood only after that what was this money?
That's right.
Okay.
Because I never had any of the money.
And the Israeli police asked you for all the details of that?
I even went with them and showed them the different banks. Yeah, but I'm just saying, it's not even nice, because when I look at myself now with my family and everything and just dump the house, what they're playing with, what a schmuck Willie Rosstoker is. You know that.
Yeah. Tell me how long...
And Mendy knows it. And Mendy was the man I went to.
Okay. Tell me, how you still continue during the years with your business in?
No, I have no business. I have nothing.
Nothing.
I don't even have my health anymore.
Okay.
No, it's there. It's all proved.
Okay.
I had operations. I can't drink anymore. I can't do things.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying I'll offer you whatever I got, but I can't join you.
So tell me about.
And the banks here are the biggest thieves going in the universe.
Okay. So finally.
Look.
Okay.
But don't, they're liable to come and shoot me. Yeah, don't laugh.
So finally, what can you tell me about your family? What you have son and 2 daughters.
Yeah, my son is a volunteer out in Jaffa. He's working for Amutah, which helps people who are underdeveloped, Arabs, Jews. He's more interested in saving people.
And you have grandchildren?
Oh yeah, I have grandchildren.
You have grandchildren?
Sure, I have 2 in Montreal, and I have and my grandson. One of them is the manager of the soccer team in Montreal. He used to be a star soccer player, but he says he's too slow, so he's making a career. Now he's the manager of the Montreal soccer team. And I have a grandson in California who's a brain.
Yeah.
Doesn't like us, but because my daughter divorced his father. But I got to put everything the only thing I suggest to you out of all this, the only thing I've told you is the truth.
Okay. So you have a family in Australia, in Canada?
No. He came back. He's here.
Okay.
Yeah, he went to Australia. Oh, yeah, and there's okay.
So you have family in Montreal?
Yeah, I have family all over Canada.
All over Canada.
Because my cousins from Paris came to Montreal, the Rostokers.
אוקיי. וילי, היה מאוד נחמד לראיין אותך.
כן,
זה היה מעניין מאוד. תראה, אנחנו בדרך כלל לא ראיינו אנשי מחל. אני
לא הייתי מחל.
לא חשוב, אבל לא היית מחל, אבל היית מתנדב מחוץ לארץ. אז לא ראיינתי הרבה אנשים כאלו, והסיפור שלך מאוד מאוד מעניין. מאוד מעניין.
זה לא מעניין את ארץ ישראלים.
מי אמר לך? מה פתאום? אתה רואה פה מה זה סולידריות בין היהודים בכל מקום בעולם. אתה רואה דוגמה לסולידריות, לזה אני מתכוון.
היה.
יש, אל תעשה מזה עניין, הכל, גם היום, גם היום.
אוקיי.
גם היום.
אני יכול להאמין מה שאני מאמין.
בסדר.
ואני היה לי קול. והייתי שר, אני מאמין באמון שלם.
יופי.
אוקיי, אני מבקש לך שאתם לא שותים אוכל.
אנחנו לא שותים. אני אעזור לך לקום, וילי?
לא.
אתה צריך עזרה?
לא, עוד לא.
עוד לא.
זה יכול להיות, אני צריך שיום אחד אני יכול לעזור לך.
אני שולח, אתה תקבל את זה על DVD.
כן?
בטח. זה ציור שלך, לא? זה אתה, וילי, לא?
כן, זה, היא מפורסמת.
מי זו הציירת?
הציירת.
סופיה.
יהודית.
סופיה אס. גש.
מה השם של... זה האימא של... אני מקווה
סופיה, מי זו הציירת?
בבקשה?
סופיה, הציירת.
הציירת זה סופיה, גאד. היא שתי בנותיה אדריכליות, בעלה היה אדריכי...
וזה?
גם אדריכל?
הילדה.
המשפחה עם כולם גרים ביפו. אנשים מעניינים מאוד.
את מכפר עזר?
כן.
אני מכיר מכפר עזר כמה אנשים. אחד, קודם כל, את חגי צ'רקסקי, אח של דודו.
נכון, אני ואחותו, הם היו תאומים הרי.
כן, אבל אותו אני מכיר.
כן.
מי עוד אני זוכר מכפר הזר.
ואיך אתה מגיע לכפר הזר?
אני עוסק הרבה מאוד במלחמות ישראל.
ויש גם, יש אלוף.
אז חגי הצטרף.
אלוף שם.
דודו בזמנו אמר לי, כולם הלכו הרי לפלמ"ח, אני אמרתי, אני נוסעת לקפריסין, אז הוא אומר, יהיה לך משעמם, את תלכי למעלה, אז תשבי עם כל ה... ואנחנו נהיה בחברה יותר מעניינת.
כן. מי עוד?
אחרי שאני גם אמרתי את קפריסין, הייתי בצבא 6 חודשים.
כן, הוא סיפר על ה...
אבל הייתה לי אחות שהיא הייתה...
כן, בקשר, קצינה בכירה.
נכון.
אחר כך היא הייתה קצינה של...
כן, של קציני, היא הייתה בבת 12, היא עברה הרבה שלבים בחיים שלה. זה מעניין, אז אתם
אני גם עוד מכפר הזר, מיכה וולף.
כן, נכון.
מיכה וולף.
משפחת וולף.
כן, מיכה וולף.
שם היו 2 אחים או 3.
אני מכיר את מיכה.
אני עזבתי את כפר הזר מוקדם. לא רציתי להיות...
לא רצית?
בכפר. אז עזבתי את כפר הזר מוקדם. מהקבוצה שלי, כשאני מדברת עם ידידים, אז אני אומרת, אני שושנה בנחוכים. אין אף אחד שנשאר מהגיל שלי.
במושב?
כן. לא רק במושב, בחיים.
צביקה עופר גם היה מהמושב שלך.
צביקה, כן.
צביקה עופר.
גם נהרג, כן.
הוא נהרג במלחמת מרדף בבקעת הירדן.
את אחותו שנולדה בבית חולים בבלפור, לאמיתות הדברים זה בזכותי שהיא נשארה בחיים.
כן, אתה הצלת אותה?
כן, אני הבאתי את אמא שלה לבית חולים, היא הייתה צריכה ללכת לבלינסון, והרופאים כולם היו ידידים שלי.
אז הבאת אותה. ומה, הייתה ילדה מסובכת? לידה מסובכת?
לא, האמא שלה הסתבכה.
הבנתי.
אבל היא בחורה נחמדה, אני הכרתי אותה רק לפני כמה שנים, אחרי כל כך הרבה שנים.
יופי.
סיפור קטן.
כן.
כשאני באתי עם ענייה אחת, אז החבר'ה באו ואמרו, גולדה מאיר רצה, היא הייתה במונטריאל, אבא עזרה לה והכל. אז אחר כך מישהו בא ויהודית הגיע. אז עשיתי שגיאה גדולה.
ובאת.
באת ליהודית. ואיך אני הגעתי? הייתי במלון על יד כפר הזר שם, אז רציתי להגיע לכפר הזר, ואין אוטובוס, וזה שהגיע בשביל הוויקנד שבת, אז לא ידעתי מה לעשות. אז טלפנתי לניסן, ואמרתי, ניסן, אני רוצה, והוא הכיר את יהודית. בקפריסין, היינו ביחד בקפריסין. אז הוא אמר, אני תכף בא. אז הוא בא עם אקדח, והוא הביא אותנו, והיינו כל אחרי צהריים עם האבנרים.
כאן אתם הגעתם עם וילי?
כל התקופות. כיסינו את הכל פחות או יותר.
אני תמיד טענתי אם היינו חיים בתקופת הנביאים, אז הוא היה נביא הזעם.
כן.
כי הוא ראה את כל העתיד עם כל ה...
אני שאלתי את וילי והוא לא ענה לי. אתם הכרתם לראשונה בקפריסין.
כן.
ואחרי שהוא עזב את קפריסין, את נשארת שם.
כן.
אתם שמרתם על קשר?
כן.
מה כן כזה?
כזה, זה היה כן כזה שאני הרגשתי שהוא יכתוב לי, והוא שלח לי פתק פה ושם.
שלח לך.
לא, אבל מה שקרה, היא קיבלה את היומיים שבאת לארץ.
כן, וגם הוא הגיע לארץ, אז נפגשנו בחיפה.
הבנתי,
אז היה לי, אמרתי לך, טעות גדול.
צריך לזכור שהאנגלית שלי הייתה מאוד עילגת.
כן, אני מבין את זה.
אבל בין היידיש ובין הקצת עברית אנחנו הסתדרנו בסדר.
אני בטוח. טוב, וילי.
אני מודה לך מאוד.
תודה רבה, היה לי כיף לראיין אותך.
וזיכרון יש לו לתאריכים.
כן, אבל שכחתי תמיד בזמן האחרון.
תודה רבה,
יוצא
יהודי.
מהכלל.
תודה
נעים מאוד
רבה,
להכיר
כן,
אותך.
תודה רבה.
אוקיי,
אתם תקבלו מאיתנו דיסק.
יופי, תודה רבה.
ואני מודה לך מאוד בשביל הסבלנות שלך.
אני השארתי אותו, הוא שם העתיק.
לא, פה, כן, תראה לי.
It's not a good picture, but anyway.
תיעוד הבן צור אנחנו ראיינו בפרויקט.
כן.
כן. הוא כבר צילמנו אותו, כן.
כן, אוקיי. That's just a...
אתה שמאלי או ימני?
אני הקטנצ'יק.
הקטנצ'יק, הוא בריון.
הוא בריון. היינו קוראים לו יהודה פרא.
יהודה פרא, כן. יפה מאוד.
כן. זה על פביו. Oh, here's the ship that the last one I sailed on.
כן, רגע. איך קוראים לזה? The last one?
Yeah, the last one was... זה חיילה הגדעוני, זה פלק המפקד, וזה וילי רוסטוקר. ויש לי עוד תמונות. אם חסר לך תמונות,
יש... אז צילמתי לתוך המצלמה. כן.